What is going on, everybody? Just thinking how much of a fucking animal I was back in the day. I don't know how I didn't end up in prison. When I was like 23 or 24, I used to work at a call center for Sirius Satellite Radio. I used to be the dude that when you get free Sirius on your vehicle, like a Ford Mustang, I'd hit you up at 5 months right before your 6 months was done, and I'd hook you up with them hot deals, like 6 months for $20, that kind of stuff, right? And I did pretty good there. I mean, I was, salesman of the month plenty of times. I mean, I used to kill it. I used to just kick back and, just make origami on my desk and just murder it. And they basically let me do what I wanted to because I would fucking just beast mode it. I'd have like 7 or 8 sales some days, and most of half the room would have nothing. So I didn't have like VIP treatment, but they didn't mind that I just folded paper all day. I make awesome stuff out of origami. I'll hit up Google and I'll throw them on this post, like some pictures of the stuff I used to make, like an iso dodecahedrons. Iso just means like hollow, and a dodecahedron's like a 24-sided shape. I mean, just absolutely mind blowing stuff. Like a swan that took like 154 pieces of paper. Yeah. So, two parts to this story we're gonna get into here. I'm gonna tell the hothead part first, and then I'm gonna tell you the love part second. Right? I'm gonna tell you real quick just before I lose it. I remember one time I called this lady and she wanted to cancel, and I didn't have the ability to cancel. I was like, customer service. And I was like, why you want to cancel, ma'am? I'm kick back, shoes on the desk, just sitting there throwing a ball in the air, just catching it. And she's like, oh, these guys, they never play what I want. They used to be good, now they're not. I'm like, well, instead of canceling it, why don't you go on Sirius.com and there's a forum where you could post and you could let them know how you feel, and you might have an influence on things. She's like, you know what? That's a great idea. I didn't know you could do that. I turned this irate customer, this old lady, into a fucking sale. Like, I was so nasty at that job. They used that call for like a show call that they for all the other trainees. Like, that was the example that it saved, and was like, this is the ideal employee right here. Like, never give up. You can get a sale out of anything. And half the reason why I think I'd murdered it is because I had the confidence. I used to go in there wearing a suit at least once a week. Dress shirt, tie, dress pants, dress shoes, minimum every single day. And no one dressed like that. The managers had a dress shirt and a tie sometimes, but that just felt, good, and that confidence like spilled off. Like, I just talked to motherfuckers like they're my best friend and be like, yo, I got this hot deal. If you want it, you're not going to get it anywhere else. So take it or leave it. No one knew me there, so they just see some kid like, probably dressing up, thinking I'm a fucking suck up, just making origami like a fucking nerd all day, not knowing that like I'm beast mode, and like when shit hits the fan, like I'm the go-to dude. Like, I'm a fucking trained fighter. I took Ishinru for multiple years. Like, I've knocked a lot of people out. Like, I've done some dumb shit in my day too. You know what I mean? And these guys just didn't know. And these two brothers used to fucking pick on me all the time because the way I dressed. They'd be like, I came in with a new Timberland fucking sweater one day. I think it was brown. And the dude was across from me, and he's like, why do you dress like a fucking grandpa? It was a bad day for me. It was a real bad day. I was already like on the edge of tears. It was the anniversary of someone that passed away that meant something a lot to me. And right before work, I had just come from the cemetery, so I wasn't having it. And word for word, verbatim, I flipped on this dude. And if you swear on the sales floor, you're fired instantly. I stood up, I threw my headset down. I'm like, yo, you better watch the fucking way you talk to me before I jump over this counter and kick your fucking teeth in. His brother stood up and was like, yo, watch the way you... And I'm like, sit the fuck down. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. Dude fucking sat the fuck down. I'm like, you better respect me when you fucking talk to me. You know what I'm saying? And the manager fucking heard it, and he came out instantly. He's like, some dumb trucker, my office, now. So I go in there, and he's like, what's going on, man? And I'm like, it's a real bad day, so-and-so passed away. I'm just, and I got these two kids fucking saying this bullshit about me. And he's like, all right, well, how about you just take a minute, and then, when you gather yourself, come on back in, we'll get you a new desk away from those guys, and what do you say? I'm like, all right. So I leave his office, I go outside, I smoke a cigarette by the door, and as I'm storming out, they're all thinking I probably got fired. You know what I'm saying? And then I come back in, boot right to the corner, and they never spoke another word to me ever again. Well, now on to the love story because this dude's basically lost his queen, and we got to move on with this. Well, I made a shit ton of origami, and this one cute girl that I kind of had a thing for one day, she told me, she's like, why don't you make me something out of paper? So I went home at the end of the day, and the next time I came into work, I went at it. I made the most baller fucking rose, and I put my touch on it. I made another miniature one and set it in the first one, so it had like so many twists in the top. And as I walked by, I set it on her desk, and she just looked at me, and her heart just dropped. I saw it. So she asked me if we wanted to hang out later that night. I ended up saying yeah. Went to her mom's house, watching a movie. Her mom was mad chill. Let me spend the night like the first fucking night over there. It was on like Donkey Kong. We ended up dating for almost a year. And like I said, she's a sweetheart. And I still talk with her to the day. I think we were texting like, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago, tops. But that's a lesson for you guys. Don't be a fuck up. Don't burn your bridges and don't get jealous. Be a man. There's no reason why you can't stay friends with girls you date. Stop being jelly. And I never understand why this is the best move. Why? Why? I don't get it. Anyone knows? Comment it. But we had a good run, and that's that. I remember when we finally broke up. It was a little argument, and she ripped up the rose, and I knew that was it. The dream is dead. The Cinderella story no longer exists. I just messaged her, told her about the video. Maybe she'll drop a comment, but I do appreciate your friendship if you hear this, and stay strong for everything you're going through. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I will see you guys on the next. Ciao.